Hey guys, my name is Fahd Dawood. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Press the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so we can stay in touch. I talk about real estate, financial freedom, or your path, the journey you're taking on your life to get there. Check this out. Something very interesting that I think is going to happen during this time that people are sometimes they're panicking, sometimes they're not panicking, sometimes they are feeling a little down because of what's in store, what's going to be happening. I have chosen so far to look at the positive aspects of the situation, look at where we might be in about 2 months, 1 month to 6 months from now, and push business forward in that way, talk to my agents in that way, encourage them and motivate them in that way. You got to actually think, in my personal opinion, I think the current situation worldwide is going to push us massively towards one of the things that we have, I think, still been ignoring or perhaps not taking full advantage of, right? So if you've got the technology to do a lot of things remotely, right? So from banking to buying online, to buying a property online, to learning, attending classes, etc., etc., etc. But what we've seen so far is everything's been fragmented, right? So for instance, MIT has had courses that you can do online today for $100, and they're courses taught by the same professors who teach in the actual university at MIT or Wharton or Harvard or so on and so forth. You can pay $100 and do the course online, yet students still prefer to go into the university environment, sit with other students, and look at the professor face to face live. Now, I'm not going to say that there's no value in there. There's tons of value in actually going in and spending time in a room, just like there's a lot of value going into a bank and talking to a teller and getting your banking needs met by a teller. Just like there used to be a lot of value if you were looking to book an online ticket. No, not an online ticket, but if you were looking to buy any kind of ticket, an airline ticket. Some of you who are over 30 would remember how tedious a process it used to be to go to an airline ticketing agent and then buy an actual ticket. But while we've had some of these processes move online pretty swiftly and smoothly, a lot of things have not. A lot of things are still done in the old archaic way. And I think one of the things that's going to happen is, as we come out onto the other side, look, my brain's already looking at the other side. I, as a grown-up person who started in the workforce, I started in the workforce fairly early, but let's say after I graduated from the Schulich School of Business in York University in Toronto in 2005, I witnessed and lived through the 2008, 9, 10, the global financial crisis. So I know that this time's going to pass. I know there's light at the end of the tunnel. I know something else is coming. So my thing that I'm telling people around me is, I personally think that the way we do business is going to change massively, and there's going to come companies and people on the other side who are going to embrace technology, and they're going to come out winners on the other side. This is a real true story today. One of my agents I was talking to him, and Emaar, one of the largest developers in the Middle East, in the region, perhaps in the world, with over 50,000 properties delivered across the region, across the world, internationally, has a lot of information that you can access online today, right? So now, if you want to buy an apartment, want to get information. So I told my agent, who's focusing on Emaar, I said, send the client more information. Give them the app. Give them information that they can browse. And my agent came to me and he was like, sir, what if I tell them about Emaar and then they can get all this information from Emaar? Then they would go directly to the developer and buy from them. So what, right? Are you going to be a successful business person, an agent, only because you were able to hide information? Only because people couldn't go direct to the developer? No, you're going to be successful if you've got the requisite knowledge to be able to help people buy the perfect apartment. I'll give you a simple example. A lot of people come to me and say, look, we want a mid to a high level apartment. We don't want to be too close to the ground floor. Some people don't recognize this, but when a developer, generally speaking, it's not always true, sells apartments, what they'll end up doing is they'll have a podium sometimes. And if the podium is like 5 floors or 3 floors, whatever level apartment you have, let's say you're on the 5th floor and there's 3 podiums in the building, you're technically now on the 8th floor. So you could technically go in and buy an apartment on the 5th floor, still be on the 8th floor, but not pay the difference, the extra in the price of being on the 8th floor, and can save you about $5,000, $10,000. Hey, not too shabby, just because you knew a little better. However, at the same time, you want to be a little bit careful. Some developers in Dubai don't follow that. There's no law that everybody has to follow that. So some developers might start calling the 1st floor, 2nd floor, 3rd floor of the podium, the parking of the building, as such. So you got to be a little careful, but you got to view. But the point I'm trying to make is, look, I personally have been saying this for many years now, for 3 to 5 years. No, I wouldn't say 5 years, but at least the last 2 to 3 years, that the agent business, the way real estate is conducted in Dubai, across the world, is going to die, right? It's going to happen. It's not going to be remaining the way it is now. Seller wants to sell something, and then you, the expert, go in and advertise this property and attract buyers and then sell it. It's not, because all of this is easily and can be automated. Maybe not yesterday, maybe not today, but pretty soon. I'm absolutely sure. And I always relate this to anybody who's over 30 would remember this. When you were buying airline tickets, I still remember, back in 2001, 2002, as I was growing up, we used to travel a lot with our parents. It was always that you had to go with your parents or yourself or your mother, sit in the airline ticketing office, and then the airline person would go on his computer. He had to do this extremely complicated 6-month IATA, International Airline Travel Agency's course, and it was like a DOS system, and he would look for, like, if you said, I want 5 tickets from Dubai to UK on a certain date, could you please check 3 airlines and give me the best pricing for the 5 tickets? He would spend about 10 minutes looking for the options, because his computer connected to the airline's computer, and he would have this complicated way of figuring it out and then giving the information to you, and he'd say, look, you can leave on this date, you can come back on this date, and this is the cost. God forbid if you turned around and said, hey, could you also check if there are cheaper seats or more expensive seats on another date? And he would make this funny face at you, and he'd be like, why didn't you tell me before, right? So every time it used to be this guy sitting with so much power. He's in control. You can't see his ticketing screen, so you don't know what price he's quoting, what availability actually truly exists. And all that, I still remember 2001 or 2 or 3, Emirates announced that you'll be able to book directly tickets with them online. And I still remember very clearly a lot of ticketing agents went like, oh my God, we're going to lose their job. Okay, well, that's unfortunate reality. And then a lot of people said, how is it possible? And then, we went through like a 5-year learning curve or 4-year learning curve. And today, I think almost nobody buys his ticket through an airline agent unless you're like this large company that needs to absolutely do that. Most people today, even large companies, I think they buy online, unless you need like special bookings, special hotel stays and stuff like that. You use a travel agent. Otherwise, you pretty much do it online. I personally think that the real estate agent business is going down the same path. I'm happy about it, because you know what? Change is good. Change keeps us fresh. Change keeps us alive. It helps us give better service. Maybe I'm a little bit unfair as well to agents who are starting out in the business, because I've built this knowledge on understanding real estate, but I've paid my dues, right? I've helped investors. I have been assistants. I've been a slave to my mentors. I've picked up their briefcase, did their chores that nobody else, even themselves, didn't want to, just so I could learn. So I'm at a different level. I understand that, but it's very important for the new agents to understand that the business is going to change. A lot of people will at some stage be able to book things online, have very accurate renderings and view of what they're buying. And when that happens, the job that you know today is not going to exist. You need to upgrade your skill set and reach a certain level where you are selling knowledge, your expertise, not just your time by showing them one, two, three. And I personally think I personally believe, this is my personal belief, it's going to be great. We're going to come out through this. So my kids are now, shall I call it homeschooling? Technically, it's homeschooling because they're at home and they're learning online. And I love it. I absolutely adore it, right? Some of you may not know this, but I'm a big proponent. I believe in the homeschooling model, but my kids go to school, regular school, but I love my kids learning at home, right? Because parents are the best source of love and nurturing that can happen to kids. And I believe that up to a certain age, the kids' involvement and closeness to parents, generally speaking, is good for their character development. This is my belief. I could be wrong. I'm not going to stand and defend it to you because you could have something else which might be better. And you can comment in the section below and I'll be happy to debate you or adopt yours. But I personally think, online learning, that's what they're doing, is amazing, right? If I can do really online banking, never have to go into the bank ever, I love that. And I personally think that Dubai is really well set to actually start implementing those things. I think I'm very happy to be living in this era, in this time. Alhamdulillah, we thank God for His blessings. Praise Him for the country, the UAE and Dubai that we're in. I think there's going to be good changes that will come out onto the other side. A lot of things are going to move technologically into a space where some jobs I think are going to get lost, but it's not because of this whole outbreak. It's going to be because your job was already redundant. The technological push hadn't forced itself through, and now it is. So recognize the opportunity that you also have and invest in yourself, because technically speaking, most companies will not lay you off. They'll tell you stay at home at half pay. Hey, learn a new skill set and start moving into a good direction. Hey, thumbs up. Look, regardless of the situation, think good thoughts, think on the bright side. I have personally lived through the global financial crisis, and people said that's the worst thing that's ever happened to anybody in this world. It's the worst recession. You know what? We came out to the other side and we had good times come back. So after winter comes spring. Relax. It will happen. Might take some time, but hang in there. Talk to you on the other side. If you haven't pressed the bell icon and the subscribe button, come on, do it, man. Helps me, boosts my ego. I like new subscribers coming in every time you come in. I check. If you've got comments, questions, just put them in below. I promise now, more time on my hands, so I'll answer them to you. Love to engage you. If you have or want to work with me, WhatsApp me. Working special one-on-one does carry a cost. Happy to share that with you. Check you out on the other side.